It's a great pleasure to be doing the Sergeant's session this morning, and I had a happy time down in the Sojourners Cafe, just eyeing people as they came in. Some of you will have been noticing the very careful look I was taking. There's actually one person whose fault this is, that my topic for the Sergeant's session is what it is. And I'd like Ulf to stand up, please. And Ulf is the keeper of Rotarian sartorial standards. You'll find. The question is, put some money in the box. As many of you know, and certainly I know, you don't really step out of line with Rotary dress if you get anywhere near Ulf. So the question is, when we look at these very elegant James Austins and the like here, you can sit back down again. Is it Ulf's influence that Rotarians look like this? Or whose else might it be? Now, next I thought Mark Stevens was our closest person. Mark, if you just stand up and if you just take off your jacket. He does have a jacket on, you'll notice. Now, I thought as people came in, so he's fine because he's the nearest pre-Beau Brummel Rotarian that we have. So pay your fine, or else other people who think that we should encourage him should pay for it. The real criminal for today's what's called muted monochrome conservative address, to my surprise, turned out to be Beau Brummel. And he is responsible for all sorts of things. So just have a feel of the shoulders of the person next to you. If those shoulders are padded, make them pay a fine. Now, Beau Brummel was good mates with the Prince Regent at the time, and he had a what's described as a plaything military group called the Light Dragoons or something like that. You'd wonder in today's world quite what plaything meant, but that's the military look, of course, the padded shoulders. Stand up any of you who have involvement in the horse industry, please. Or have ever ridden a horse? Okay, you pay a fine too. So the lower, yes, I'm sure motorbikes count. I've got one for you, William, in just a moment. Don't feel left out. So the lower part of the suit and the slash pockets, of course, come from the gentleman's pursuit of riding. So probably if you have slash pockets, you should pay for that. Now, the third of four elements, Beau Brummel's idea was that the suit should be as close as possible to the naked torso of the Greek gods, which is where you come in, William. So any of you others who think that you're Greek gods, you should pay. Or if you've been to Greece, I feel that you should pay. You've obviously got too close to the Greek gods. Now, we haven't quite finished with the muted monochromes. Where's Peter Bushnell? I saw him arrive. Yeah, come on, stand up, Peter. He would not pass Beau Brummel's idea because it was supposed to be a muted monochrome in dress. So if you're sitting with anyone, male or female, who isn't in muted monochrome, make them pay. Now, next, if you have a suit jacket on, would you please count the number of pockets? You're supposed to have 7, inside and outside. The inside ones are where you put your dead game once you've shot them. So any of you that have shot game or failed to shoot game, you should also pay a fine. And then, finally, while you're looking at your clothing, just look at your next door neighbour's suit cuffs. This is called, if they have buttons on them, this is the surgeon's cuff I discovered. And what it was supposed to do was you could button up your cuff so that when you were dealing with the wounded bodies on the battlefield, you didn't get your cuff soiled by the blood. So, those ex-military surgeons amongst you, or if you've been involved in the medical profession, you should pay a fine. Now, Bruce Christensen, he was my next person. Where's Bruce? Now, you'll notice Bruce, of course, is always the height of sartorial elegance. He would pass old standard. And what Bruce has on is a tie. So all of you wearing ties, this is a fading fashion item, will be fined. But those of you like Bruce that are wearing an affiliation tie, you have to pay double. Oh, just a little bit of history there. The tie was developed from a bunch of Croatian mercenaries in the 17th century. And the word cravat apparently comes from the Croatian for cravate, in my best Croatian accent. The women do not escape here. Hands up those of you who have actually done this juggling act. Dress for success and the baby. Come on, women. Stand up. Stand up. Probably the people at your table should pay the fine because this is really difficult. But you'll notice the exact same outfit there. So this is Diane Keaton in some movie or other. And she's got her version of the male tie. She has Beau Brummell's muted monochrome. And she didn't dare have a handbag. She had to have the black briefcase. Whilst we're still on the subject of women, these apparently, amongst others, are some of the early forms of the high-heeled shoes. The idea, which is still relevant, is that you were so wealthy you didn't actually have to walk anywhere in your shoes. So the women in the room... Oh, wait on. I just thought this was incredibly similar. The poshest ones actually were black boots, but they didn't show up any good on the slide. So we've got the white sequined ones. But if you have worn these, you definitely have to pay a fine. The idea of it is apparently that on the one hand you're perpetually walking forward, on the other hand you're always in danger of falling. And apparently the psychology of the designer handbag is so that us women can ward off the competition of other marauding females. So those of you with handbags, male or female, would you please pay a fine? And just in case you think I'm being sexist, all the ex-Scots College prefects, please stand up. Oh, now, Roger, wait on you. Hold on, stand up, Roger. You've got a tie of affiliation as well. Look at that. Plus Graham Mitchell, you will have worn one of these. So you guys pay a fine too. And Duncan, I didn't see Duncan when I was lying low there in the Sojourner Cafe. I don't think he's here, but if he is, he should pay a fine. And then, of course, Ulf, I'm terribly sorry, but the really successful people these days, this is Mark Zuckerberg, and look what he's got on. So if you've ever worn a hoodie, you should pay a fine. But do notice that Beau Brummell gets the last word. That is a very muted monochrome. So let's hope that at least in future in Rotary we stay muted.